Hi guys, welcome to another review. It's been a while since I watched a movie, but recently I watched Pitch Black. Oh, sorry, Riddick. This is like Pitch Black 3, Riddick the movie, and this is the review. So okay, I love Pitch Black 1. I think that's a very good movie. It was low budget, but they made it look so well done. Cinematographically, storyline, everything was nice with that movie. And then I think it launched Vin Diesel into the headlines. Um, and then they did Pitch Black 2. I think they call it Chronicles of Riddick. And that movie was really on a grand scale. I don't know what about Vin Diesel, but I remember his term for the movie is called he said it he called it the darker Star Wars or sexy Star Wars or something like that. And to be honest with you, and then that movie failed. Um, I think it was too ambitious, and and then the storyline wasn't all there. And to be honest with you, Vin Diesel can only do tough guys. He cannot do he in every movie that he stars. Vin Diesel is Vin Diesel. He's nobody. He's not into a character. So the Pitch Black character you can be seen in the Fast and Furious. He's the same kind of guy, same actor, same. So his range is not that good. So and then he's not doing the same himself a favor by keep doing this kind of movies. Although apparently they make money. So the latest one comes out recently. So I went there. Actually, I saw it yesterday, and here's what I think about it lah. I mean, the movie is not bad, so that's out of the way. It's not bad in terms of the three. I think uh, Pitch Black was better, the best. I think, and then this is come number two, and Chronicles of Riddick is number three. I didn't think it is that. It's not a super sci-fi movie. You know what I mean? It's more like an expandable action movie. I mean, really nothing great about it, nothing new about it. It's not. Mostly they try to do it recap the Pitch Black movie. You have monsters in the deserted planet, and yeah. So that's the storyline. In short, basically, you don't need to see the story plot or whatever. Just follow through the action. It's just like a repeat of the Pitch Black, but it's not as good as Pitch Black. And I tell you why it's not as good as Pitch Black. You see, because I'm also learning about films, right? I'm learning to do films, and when I see all movies, I not only look at the storyline, how it makes me feel, but also how they shoot it, how they shot a movie, how they create the special effects, how the lighting works. I mean, I take that into account. This movie is shot in a studio, and that is really, really bad. They put all the money for this movie in the CGI, and to me, that is a big mistake. I think if you have the money, you can afford the money, put the money in the locations. I think that's why the first one was shot in the desert planet. You can see dust. You can see, when you shoot outdoor, those are the elements that you don't get in the studio. Studio is clean. You don't get dust. You don't get wind. You don't get, most importantly, you don't get the sun. No matter whatever lighting that they have in studios, you cannot beat the power of the sun, which is the best way to lead a film. And the first one had that. It was shot outside. You can see dust. You can see um, all the elements that you shoot in the desert. You can see all that. But because they shoot this in the studio, you don't. is they try to make it as a tough environment, as a desert like environment, but you can't recreate that if you shoot in the studio. No matter how much coloring you do, they color graded the studio to look like a desert, whatnot. It doesn't show up as a desert, and because of that, you can see it was shot in a studio. So it brings down the production down. And I'm particular lah. I think anybody who makes movies, when they see it, they get particular about this because they do have the budget, but they put it in a CGI, which I think is a big mistake. They should, if possible, shoot it in location. And what happened when you shoot inside a studio? It creates a TV environment, television environment. It has that atmosphere, so it pulls out of the movie. You watching a TV show, you know, and that's really not this not what you should aim for when you do this kind of film. I think Star Trek: The Next Generation, for example, it is a good TV show. When they do shoot outside, they try to shoot as possible outside, not in the environment. The only good no the only good movie that was shot in the studio and it looks like it was shot outside was the Jurassic Park 3. And when I first saw the movie, I thought some of the scenes were shot in the jungle somewhere because they have this good lighting and the camera was really nice and then the effect was really nice. I thought it was shot outside in the forest in Hawaii where they say they shot it. Apparently, the big part of that movie was shot in a studio, but they had so good lighting work. Sorry, something got in my eyes. The movie really shines, and that's that. But it's problematic if you shoot inside. Like I'm saying, it's really hard to replicate the power of the sun. The lighting from the sun is very, very difficult. So this movie had that. I mean, I was taken aback a few times when I was watching it. I was like, oh my god, this is in the studio. This is in the studio. What? Because if you don't have the budget, you should shoot inside, but make sure it's inside a building. If you've seen Aliens, it was shot in 1986. It was shot in 1985, 84, and then was released in 1986. It was shot basically in a studio, but it's an alien environment. They can recreate most of the shots were taken inside a building. It was close quarter combat kind of scenes, so very nice, very well done. So that's how you shoot inside indoors. But this movie, they have a lot of outside scenes, but they shot it in the studio. And worse, they made it a desert scene. The problem with the eye and the mind is we have seen deserts so many times in National Geographic and in better movies, Lawrence of Arabia, whatever. When we see a fake desert, we will know it. Our mind has been conditioned, especially if you've been watching a lot of movies, a lot of documentaries about desert, National Geographic and stuff. You know it's a fake environment. So it has that in this movie, and that takes me out a bit. It's unfortunate because they have the money. They shot a lot of CGI, a lot of CGI. They even had this CGI dog, which is I know is cost a lot of money to do, but they wasted it on that dog, which I think what a waste. They could have shot this outside, and I realized that why people want to shoot outside. If you look at the one the not the popular movie, but for me it is quite a good movie, Transformers 2, The Revenge of the Fallen, which is storyline sucks, but visually it's a beautiful movie to look at, to study how they shoot it, how they liked it. Very beautiful movie to look at. They shot that movie, that Transformers 2 movie, on location in Egypt and a lot of places in Europe and whatnot. They really put the money on location, and it comes out on the screen. It looks good because it was shot in such a way. It was 35 millimeter. Michael Bay was not into HD. It was not into digital. So the movie, when you shoot in film in that real environment, in 35 millimeter, it really looks good. Now, Riddick was shot in a studio. Not only shot in a studio, he was shot on digital HD, on a digital camera. I can tell, you can tell when watching it. It was shot on digital camera, so you can see how fake everything else, because a digital camera is so sharp, and it takes out that illusion that people use when people get when you use a 35 millimeter or whatever camera film. When you use film, there is an illusion created, because you can mix it with the chemicals later on when you want to develop it. So I'm not saying that digital is bad, but you cannot do a lot of things with digital. You cannot create the magic that film can. So this movie was shot with digital in a studio, badly lit, because the environment looks like it was they were cheating on you. So yeah, in terms of I know this is a bit long, but in terms of cinematography, location, this movie is got it wrong. All right. In terms of storyline, they try to copy Pitch Black. It's not as good, but bearable. The story is okay in the end. Whatever chemistry, can they will say some? They want to inject some sort of romance by injecting Katie Sackhoff in here. She's good, but her role is there just to as a sexy something, which I can't blame him, but it's a thankless role lah. Actually, it doesn't bring any weight to the movie. It's not convincing. So that's it. As you can hear, as you can see, I'm more comparing on the cinematography and the quality of the film, because the film looks like it was shot on studio in a very low budget kind of setting, which is not supposed to be lah. They have the budget, instead they spend it on creating all these dogs, CGI dog, which looks good for the money lah, but to the story wise, it's like why? That's the movie. Out of 10, I would give this movie a score of 6. It's really not that bad. It's just it has a okay story, but it has a more television feel than a movie feel. So that's exactly the sentiment. It's more like TV than movie. So that's it. Thank you for watching, guys.